What's going on YouTube? Welcome to today's video. Going to be showing you guys a live Q&A with one of my clients, Chris, who dropped 20 pounds or over 20 pounds, 4 inches on his waist and gained an inch on his arms during the 12-week Healthy Flex prescription. He absolutely crushed it. And Chris is actually one of the few clients of mine that are college students, but also playing lacrosse and working. So he's very limited on time. So we had to be very efficient with his workout routine and also his nutrition game plan. But he completely excelled, crushed the program, worked very hard. Because of that hard work, he got some great results. So you can see them also right here. So if you guys are interested in coaching and joining the Healthy Flex prescription program, it's a 12-week program, you can go to hejnasty.com right here /coaching. You can put in an application. You can see some of our clients' results there, or you can also check out our Instagram, Hejnasty Coaching. There's a bunch of our testimonials, or you can sit in on one of these live Q&As, which is typically Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. But without further ado, I'm going to show you guys this live Q&A, and Chris is going to give you some of his secrets of how he made this incredible transformation happen. So again, great work, Chris, and thank you guys for watching. Tell you guys in the next video. Peace.
So I guess everyone did see your transformation. It was pretty damn incredible. You you look like an absolute unit now. So great work. Just give us a little bit of background information. So of course your name is Chris, but what do you do? I alluded to your student as well. So just give everyone kind of like what are you doing day to day? Like what have you been up to?
So when I first started the journey, so I'm a full-time student. I also play college lacrosse at the Division II level, and I work part-time at like 2 different jobs. So I'm going to school full-time to be a nurse. I got 1 more year left. I passed this semester, so I was pretty pumped about that. And then obviously lacrosse, I was doing about 6 days a week, probably about 5 hours spent each day just dedicated to that. And then part-time, I work in a hospital. I'm a patient care technician, so basically I aid nurses, help out patients, make sure they're all cleaned, etc. You know, the whole 9 yards. And then I'm also right now a cook for a company called Merrymaker, so I work in the kitchen. I do wedding venues, all that. So that's a little bit about me. I started lifting about, I want to say like 2 years ago. That's when I got like really focused into it, and here I am now. So.
Well, damn, that kind of blows my mind. You've only been lifting 2 years, and like you have a lot of mass developed for like only being 2 years deep. So whatever you're doing before the program, you were honestly doing that pretty right. But also, to be honest, like especially like even at your age, you're one of probably my most busy clients. You have a very packed schedule in terms of being a student, working, and then also 6 days a week of lacrosse. That's an easy 12 hours weekly towards that. So definitely, it's really cool. Can you speak to, I guess we'll probably get into it a little bit more, but how did you feel meshing this kind of program into your lifestyle that was so busy already? How was that kind of transition, or how did that work together for you?
I think when I was at school, it was a little bit easier because, you know, obviously I had times, part of lacrosse was working out and setting the time to be in the gym, whether it be at like a retro fitness or being at the school gym or something like that. So that wasn't really much of a hard mesh. I would probably say the hardest thing was definitely getting like my nutrition down, just because, you know, sometimes I would be in class and the dining hall wouldn't be open, or, you know, I'd have to do a quick grab and go and then go right to lacrosse and then go right to work or something like that. So I think once I finally got my schedule on point, it probably took me about like a good 2 weeks to just kind of see where I can go to get food, good food, you know, that I can hit my macros with. And that was probably the hardest thing. And then obviously I stopped school, and then I started working 7 days a week. So I obviously had a discussion with you not too long ago about meal prepping and everything like that. And that was the most difficult thing, just because when I was at work, I would, you know, the boss would order something and I'd be like, oh, I didn't bring food today, so I'm going to eat that. And like, then I wouldn't be able, like, for example, he would order like pizza or something, so I wouldn't be able to eat for the rest of the day. But I'd probably say like 2 weeks into work, I started getting like into the groove. So it was mainly just like 2 weeks each time, whether it be in school or out of school, kind of getting into the mesh of things. And then workouts when I got out of school, just because I'm working 7 to 7s and sometimes the gym wasn't open at night, I would have to go in at like 4:30 in the morning, which I know you just posted a video today talking about how rough that is.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a good,
sometimes.
yeah, I know there was a good group in the morning. So I, you know, made it a little bit better, but, yeah, I would probably say like each time I had to make a change, it was tough in the beginning, and like I would see like a gain in my weight, or you know I would not look as full as I wanted to, and I would definitely see like a decline in like my weight, like when I push like for like weightlifting and stuff like that, and like that really made me angry. But like once I got like 2 weeks settled into an everyday task, I was fine. So
good. So once you got into kind of like the routine of everything, it was a little bit easier. So once you kind of like got that whole meshed into it, because you were doing a lot of things, but just kind of fitting in, and it kind of what you said also was you were in school, and you also, of course, you passed the semester, that is always awesome. And your team did amazing in lacrosse, but you didn't have to sacrifice these things to drop 23 pounds, get healthier, and also excel in terms of your fitness. So that's why I kind of wanted you really develop that kind of work-life balance with everything, which is really not easy for many people to do. So I do have to commend you there. But the question I want to get to first is, where were you with your fitness before the program? So 12 weeks ago, kind of give us that context. We saw you were 230. How was your fitness, your nutrition, and how were you like maybe mentally?
So I would probably say obviously I found out about you by my dad, and that was like, I would probably say last summer. And he like mentioned it, and I was pretty in tune with my fitness, but as far as eating goes, I was kind of just like, oh, you know, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat something. And then it just kind of devolved into like eating more and more. And the main thing was like, let me think here. Can you repeat it again? You know, I was just...
It's all good. But we'll get into the story of like how you heard of me. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, so the 12 weeks going into it, I obviously called Dennis and I had the interview and stuff like that, and it was just more of like I kept waking up and looking myself in the mirror and was just like, this is not where I want to be. I mean, like I was like 230 pounds. I felt really good in the gym. You know, I was pushing like very heavy weight, and I felt good in that aspect. And I'm like, I heard a lot of stigma about like, oh, if I lose weight, I'm going to lose my gains. And that was like the main thing is like, oh, I love, you know, lifting this heavy or being like this. So I was just like, I'm never going to change. I'm never going to lose that weight. And then when I heard about you, I was just like, well, maybe there is something. And like, it probably took me like 2 weeks to get into the mentality of like, I actually want to do this. I want to lose that weight. And it was just constantly kind of waking up and seeing my body, and I was just like, oh, dude, I look like shit. Like, I got to change. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or something like that.
Go for it.
But, yeah, dude, I was like, I look like shit. And then that's when I reached out to you, man. I wanted to get my eating in check. When I eat, like I said, I kind of, when I'm hungry, I eat. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be pizza. It could be burgers. It could be like any of that. And I was just wolfing them down, stuff in my face, and it was a bad time, to be honest, and it got out of control. So
what was kind of like that last straw where you're like, all right, I want to make this change. Let's get right into it right now. Because you said it took you like 2 weeks to be like, oh, I kind of want to do this. Was there that kind of like last straw where you're like, let's do this right now?
The last straw was probably, I had a meeting actually with my coach, and I kind of was, I wanted to be, because I don't start for lacrosse, but I definitely contribute like as much as I can, whether it be in practice, sometimes in games I would get in. And he told me I just need to, you know, get better, get quicker, get faster. And I also like stepped on the scale that same day, and I was like 230 pounds. I'm like, dude, if I lost this weight, like that could be it. Like that could be my moment to shine. So I did that, and then I also had like a health checkup the same day, like a physical, like a midweek physical, and my blood pressure was really high. I was like in the 160s, 170s. It was really bad. And I just did not feel good at all anymore, especially after seeing the weight. after seeing the blood pressure, after being told that I'm not going to play. So that was like the final straw. And then I was just like, here we go. Like I opened up the website, I reached out to you, and not even like 2 days later, I got a phone call. So
awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get into the program and have such great results. Specifically with those three things that you mentioned, you said your blood pressure was up, your weight wasn't where it wanted to be, and then also you said you weren't feeling as agile on the field or as kind of elusive. So after the 12 weeks, you dropped 23 pounds. Do you feel that those things are in a better spot, or were you even able to, I guess, take those objective measurements again?
Oh, 100%. I actually, the past 2 days, I've been checking my blood pressure, and I checked it last week as well. And from eating well, you know, taking my vitamins, everything like that, taking my micros, and tracking my macros, etc., I am now at a consistent 128 over 60 on my blood pressure. And I was also in that stigma like, oh, it's hereditary. I'm never going to be able to change. You know, I might be on medication. Even my nurse said that at school. And I was just like, I'm not one big for medication, even though I work in the health department. But I was just like, I need a change. So that was fine. Obviously, you saw my weight, like just dropping that 23 pounds. And I've actually been able to like take off my shirt and kind of feel confident about my body. So
Awesome.
I was really happy about that. And then as far as the cross goes, I'm a lot quicker on my feet. I play goalie, so like I get to the ball really quick. My lateral stepping is less slow, I guess you could say. It's a lot quicker. And I was doing ladders the other day, and you know what took me a while to do, and I was out of breath and you know everything like that. I was able to get through like a whole program without even like being dead. So it's definitely, I mean, this whole 12 weeks has progressed like on, and I can't wait to get, you know, just keep going and going with it.
Awesome. And that is insane. And also like, that's huge because you said like 160, 170 down to 128. So that's at least 30 points off your blood pressure, which is incredible, especially because that does have a high correlation with overall weight loss, but also you were eating very healthy. We had your fiber, and also we had a goal to increase sodium a little bit as well. So the main contributor there, getting that weight loss, staying active. And if anyone is struggling with those things, I loved what you said also. I thought it was hereditary. And like, this reminds me of myself when I was younger, especially I was overweight pretty bad. And I used to think, oh, it's my genetics. I'm stuck this way. My doc is like, oh yeah, your parents are a little overweight.
My metabolism is slow, you know.
Yeah.
It's the excuses come to mind, man. And it's like, once I started seeing that change, the excuses went out the window. The stigmas went out the window. And it was just like, I can do this. So
yeah, once you see that little step of progress, and then it's like, oh, I'm in the driver's seat, and it's empowering for you, because then it's like, especially in fitness, now what else can I do career-wise in other areas? So I'm so happy that you were able to get in control and really get those great results. So I do want to step back to, how did you hear about the program? So you said you heard about the program from your dad.
Yeah, so my dad actually works at the same fossil industry at PSE&G that your girlfriend works. And I visited him a couple times, mainly because my car broke down and I was right in the area. And I noticed, I guess she has like a pre-workout or like a BCAA at her table. And I was like, oh, dude, someone lifts it there? And he's like, oh, yeah, dude, this you know, Oriental girl, like she's really nice. She's got a cool boyfriend. And like he's big into fitness. And he's like a power lifter and everything. I was like, oh, dude, powerlifting, like you got me sold here. So he told me about your the program and everything. And then one day at work, he texted me. He's like, hey, listen, I and Nicole is your girlfriend, obviously, for those who don't know. He's like, hey, I talked to Nicole, and apparently, like, he does this 12-week program, you know, where he builds strength, loses weight, all this fun stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm sold. Like, just, you know, give me the information, all that. And he did. He sent it over. And then it was, like I said, it was like that 2 weeks of contemplating, like, oh, do I have the money? Do I not have the money? Do I want to do this? Do I want to invest while I'm in school and work and all that? And then, like I said, I had that driving point, like that final breaking point. I was just like, let's do it. Let's do it. And I signed up, and it was just like I never looked back.
Awesome. So, yeah, technically you were Nicole's first referral. So I'm happy that
I mean, she better be getting a pay raise or something.
Right? Yeah. She got the referral bonus, so she got ice cream today. But yeah, awesome. It's cool how like things work that way, and that you're able to get hooked up to a good program, get great results. And also, we kind of mentioned already like where you are now in terms of, you said you're confident. I know you're around the beach area, so confident with your shirt off, feeling good, the confidence is there. But I want to talk about how we made that transformation a reality. So I want to pull up your macros because I like giving a little context to how far we had to dig. So people that are in their weight loss journeys, a lot of people are like, oh, let me do 2,000 calories and everything's going to be okay. But it's really individual what we have to do. So for Chris, the macros that we had to eventually drop down to was 40 fat per day, 145 carb, 185 protein. So that's 1,680 calories a day. And I think we were doing close to 2,000 calories of cardio a week, correct?
Yeah, and we just changed it to 2,000 this last week, and I did really well with that. I think I got like 2,100, so I was pretty psyched.
Overachiever. But yeah, so
all right.
really pushed it, but also the cool thing was that how much the lacrosse also helped us. We were able to have less kind of cardio in the gym because we had so much cardio outside of the gym. So that's how far we had to dig in terms of nutrition to drop 23 pounds in 12 weeks, but also the protein intake and also how hard you push yourself in training that retain that muscle mass. And according to our measurements, dropped 4 inches off the waist, going from a 38 to a 34. And also at that same time, gained an inch to the arms, 16 to 17 inches. So closing in on me, man.
I'm trying, man. Well, I mean, like, I'll never be as, well, I wouldn't say never, but
It's getting close. It's getting close. But I want to ask you, so with this great transformation, of course, like, I know you really had to push in terms of nutrition, but what was your go-to meal that made adhering to these macros easier for you?
Chicken. Just a lot of chicken, man. I think last 2 weeks I meal prepped. I must have spent at least like $100 just on chicken. Like I was grilling it. I would eat like 12 ounces a day. It's really good just because if you don't, over marinate it or anything like that, you just do like basic seasoning, like salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. You don't have like a lot of fat. I think you have like 2 grams of fat per 4 ounces, and then you just like jam packed with protein. So like that was like my go-to because like when I looked at the macro list that you gave me, it said to eat your fats and eat your proteins first and save your carbs for last. Mm-hmm. So I would just eat as much chicken as possible, get my proteins all the way up, and then I would focus on my fats, and then I would focus on my carbs. And like I would probably say like throughout the whole journey, I must have eaten like so much chicken, man. So that was like my go-to meal. I did have like some cheat meals, but I did like tuna fish sandwiches like whenever I was at school. That was like my go-to, just because like tuna is really good for you as far as like omega-3s. It's not really a fatty fish, it's and it tastes good. I mean, like if you don't like, but there was 2 different options. There was like a mayo one, which, sometimes if I didn't eat in the morning or something, I needed that fat intake, I would eat the one like with a little bit of mayo in it. And then if I, ate like a protein bar in the beginning, I would probably do something without the mayo just so I can stay like under my fat. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing would probably be the protein bars. Like that thing saved my life just because like it's something quick and easy to go. It fills you up. That and like protein shakes, it hits your macros really well. At least the ones that I got like the pure protein ones.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 9 grams of fat in it, like 24 grams of protein. So those are like the main 3 things that I think I ate consistently for the 12 weeks.
Gotcha. So a lot of chicken, tuna, and protein bars. And the protein bars, I'm with you, especially if you have a long work day, and I think you're walking around the hospital. So when I was on rotations, just having protein bars in the bag, and also I didn't like bringing a Tupperware for lunch, so I just knock out 2 protein bars and then save the rest of my calories for home. So what was your indulgence? Because I mean, it's flexible dieting. Like, what was the kind of food that you spent a little extra fats and carbs on?
I would probably say like I really, and I miss it right now, but every once in a while I would just get regular chocolate ice cream. Just like that was my main thing, man. And I'm actually like, I've been craving it for the past like 5 weeks and I haven't had it. And like, I think that's like the first thing that I would get, like like probably tomorrow I'll probably get it, to be honest with you. And like obviously I would still hit my like macros and stuff like that, but ice cream would probably be number one indulgence that like every so often if I was having a bad day, I would try to just save the rest of my carbs and fats just for a nice like chocolate something, man.
Check out Enlightened. Like, it's super easy to fit in your macros because it's pretty low fat. It's going to be high protein, high fiber as well, relatively low carbs. So check that one out. It's a lot easier to fit into your poverty numbers right now.
Sounds good.
So I got one last question for you, and then I want to take some of the questions that we have in the comments. So if you guys have any questions for Chris, please drop those down in the comments down below. But before that, what would you say, what would be your best tip that you would give yourself now, knowing what you know now, to yourself probably 13, 14 weeks ago that wants to make a similar transformation? What is one tip or one piece of advice that you would give yourself 14 weeks ago?
It may sound like cliche, but I would probably say to myself, 21 days makes a habit and 60 days makes a lifestyle. Just because if you stick with, like, for example, I stuck with like my eating program, my lifting program for obviously like 12 weeks, obviously more than 60 days. And it kind of just evolved into, oh, this is grueling, this is hard, to, all right, now I'm getting the hang of it, and it started to become habit, like second nature. And then it becomes that 60-day mark, and it's like, this is just muscle memory for now on. And like before that, it was just, I would do something for 10 days, be like, oh, it's not working. And then I would stop doing it. So that was one of the main things. And one of the things that I was trying to do, I started like a weight loss journey of my own last summer. And I went from like 230 to 225. And then I stuck around 225 for like a good 10 days, 12 days. I was like, oh, it's not working. So I didn't get into that habit and that lifestyle. So then there you go. I shot back up. Yeah. So this, I would probably say to myself 13 weeks ago, to 21 days makes a habit, 60 days makes a lifestyle.
100%. And yeah, especially if you're taking like some kind of process that one is not too sustainable, like, oh, we're just going to eat chicken, broccoli, and like peanuts, and we're going to be dropping a lot of weight. You're not controlling calories, so you may not get great results. And then also, who wants to just eat broccoli, chicken, and peanuts for the rest of their life? Then you're going to have these relapses. So it's really cool that you were able to make this a sustainable habit for you and really, truly build, as you said, kind of into that lifestyle. So, so I have a couple questions here. This is a really quick one. How much weight have you lost?
In total, I've lost 23 pounds since I've started this journey, and hopefully going to keep losing more. But yeah, 23 pounds.
It is summer. It's time to get shredded. Summer shredding. A wise man once said that. Another quick one is, what's your fat percentage? Has Kevin helped you? So I guess, what's your body fat percentage before and after, if you have that?
So I started at, I think it was around like 20, 21 body fat. And now I actually just checked it today. I'm at like 17.8, but so rounded up, it's 18. So I've lost 2 to 2.5 whole percents of body fat. So that's what I was pretty happy about as well.
Solid. This one made me laugh, but I do have a couple of good ones that I wrote down. But Chris, are you single?
I am, actually, yeah.
Hey, your DM, so, yeah. Watch out. So actually, I got a bunch of quick ones, but how old are you?
I'm 21. I just turned 21.
Awesome. Oh, well, that's good. So congrats. Now you're 21. But here's a good question. So how long did it take you to start seeing a change? You kind of mentioned it takes X amount of time to build a habit, then build a lifestyle, but it's kind of hard if you're not seeing results to like make it something worth building that habit over. So how long did it take you to start seeing results that you noticed?
I think as far as number-wise, like on the scale, obviously that was just immediate, but I didn't really see much change in my body until I would probably say the first month. The first month, I started noticing like small things, and like I said, I was big into fitness before, and I would like be like, oh, dude, you know, I got this vein here, like that's crazy, but like. So I was very in tune with like what my body looked like. So I would probably say in the first month, I noticed very small changes, like, oh man, like I started getting like a vein here, or, you know, I started, you know, developing some, you know, I could see my rib cage, you know, whenever I breathed in, or, hey man, like I don't have like that belly fat anymore. And like, it was very small changes, but I would probably say like a month I saw physical changes. So that was that.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and it took that first month, and then of course after there, kind of I've noticed once you start seeing results, then you kind of like they really start coming.
Mm-hmm.
After that first like kind of, oh, we're changing here, it keeps coming.
It gets like addicting, man. Like you don't want it to stop, so you just got to keep going.
100%. But yeah, I think that's Dennis is also in here. So Young Credenza is here. He said the DMs get spicy after these transformations. All right, good luck with that, Chris. But I just got one last question for you. Thank you, everyone, for submitting some questions for Chris. Thank you guys so much. Just one last one I want to leave us off on. So you've dropped 23 pounds. You've dropped 4 inches off the waist, made some gains. What is next for you? So what is your next goal that you want to set for yourself?
So my next goal is obviously to keep losing that weight and sticking with this lifestyle that I've made. And I definitely want to get down. My goal is to get down to at least like 200 and then maybe start doing like a lean bulk and kind of just, you know, start gaining that strength and keep going. And I eventually want to like start really increasing my 3 main lifts, which is the bench, the squat, and the deadlift, and just increasing weight while still looking like that slim kind of body. And if I can lose more weight, I will. Like that's not an issue here. But I want to definitely keep that weight off and focus on those 3 main lifts. As far as like my cardio goals, I definitely want to. I told you the other day I want to run 5 miles nonstop, and I want to keep implementing cardio into my lifestyle just because it's helped so much with my internal body as far as like the blood pressure, and you know. My heart rate went from like 80 to like 50 now. You know, I got that runner's heart rate, and it's just I feel a lot better. And the vascularity has been there, so I definitely want to continue doing that. And then obviously my last goal, and this is like maybe like 2 or 3 years from now, continuing. So this is like a long-term goal. I want to compete in my first powerlifting tournament, actually.
Awesome. Hey, I'll be honest, because I started over at Rutgers with the powerlifting team. There's no reason you can't do one now, but one.
Yeah, I mean, I would, but like, I still feel like I got a lot to work on, you know? And I want to be, when I go there, for me, it's like the mentality, like, I have a winning mentality and a success mentality. And I feel like if I go in there now, man, like, I don't want to like bring myself down, but I just know I'm not ready for it yet. I want to go in there and I want to know that I'm going to kick ass. So, like, that's one of the main things.
All right. Well, I'm still going to send you some, like, USAPL powerlifting things.
Sounds good to me, man.
Also, my friend Maku's in here who runs Adelante Barbell Club, and they have some meets. So I may have to get you in there. But
absolutely.
But that's pretty much going to do it for this Q&A. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me for this, Chris. Also, thank you for trusting in me 12 long weeks ago to help get you towards your fitness goals. Really does mean a lot that you gave me that trust. Do you have any final thoughts you want to close on?
All I gotta say, man, is you helped me out quite a bit these last 12 weeks. I mean, it's a struggle for anyone like looking to do it. It's very grueling. It's very hard, but you kind of get used to it. It gets addicting, like I said. And last thing, like I said, 21 days makes a habit. 60 days makes a lifestyle. You got to stick with it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you, everyone, for watching this. I should be back next Tuesday with another one. But again, thank you, Chris. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Good night.
See you guys.